V Squad, and welcome back to another episode of VGirl TV. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my new subscribers. I am so happy that you guys are enjoying my shenanigans. In this video, I actually really was contemplating for a very long time if I even wanted to do this video, but I'm gonna do it. You know why I'm gonna do it? Because I've always been the type of person to stand in my truth. I've been the type of person to, do you like my shirt, by the way? I've always been the type of person to stand within my truth. I speak how I feel and I mean what I say when I say it. So when I make these videos, I definitely do not make these videos to coming from a bad place, but I'm gonna tell you the truth, okay? I'm gonna tell you the truth from my reality and from my personal perspective. Now keep in mind, disclaimer, that everyone's truth will be different depending on their version of their reality. So I make my videos based on my version of reality, and many people can relate to me because obviously I am younger, okay? I am ethnic, to say the least. I am a little bit more relatable than most. When I decided to move to Panama and I was doing research, coming on YouTube, well, researching on YouTube was something that I did a lot. And I could not for the life of me find any information that from anyone that I personally could relate to. Everything on YouTube, every time you Google Panama, it was either something about retiring in Panama, retiring in Boquete. Those were the two things that comes up all the time. If you don't believe me, you can look it up yourself and Google living in Panama and you'll see for yourself. It's always retiring in Panama or retire. And when you say retiring, they always, more than likely, the article or whatever it is going to tell you that they're going to leave you to Boquete and Chiriqui. To each his own. I'm not here to judge anyone's personal choices, but I'm going to tell you my reason why I would never live in Chiriqui, Boquete, David. And some of you may be offended by this, and this is not something for you to be offended by. Just take it with a grain of salt and just move on from it. My thing has always been, if it don't apply, then let it fly. And I realize that no matter what you say or how well you say it or how well you express yourself, there's always going to be someone that will take your words and interpret it completely different from what you were trying to convey. So with that being said, do you, boo-boo, do you. A lot of times I go through my comments and I read comments from people that live in these particular areas. These are expats that live in Boquete, Chiriqui, and they are the most angriest set of people, to say the least. With that being said, if you get riled up by what I'm about to say, or if you get riled up about my past videos, then I'm talking exactly to you. You are the type of person that I'm talking about. The last comment that I have, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm just going to be very blunt. If you come on my channel and you are promoting something other than, or promoting things to my subscribers, I'm going to delete your comments. I'm going to delete it because, or if you're being rude or you're being negative, it will be deleted. If I have time and I see it, because sometimes I don't see all the comments, negative comments will be deleted, period. So there was this man, his profile picture had a Make America Great Again hat. That's what he had on in his picture. And he was very upset and felt like I didn't have the right to talk about my experiences in Panama and and the things that I was saying was wrong. Now, please keep in mind that this person had on a Make America Great Again hat. So obviously his perspective of life is completely different from my perspective of life. No shade. He is also retired. He's a retired person. A retired person with a Make America Great Again hat living in Boquete. With that being said, as is, you can't relate to anything that I'm saying. So obviously you are going to not agree with what I'm saying, which is okay. But the insult, sir, is unnecessary, okay? I have lived in Panama for a very long time. I've been visiting Panama all my life. I am Panamanian, my family is Panamanian. I think I have enough information to speak my truth without being disrespected. So with that being said, here is my top 5 reasons why I would never live in Boquete, Chiriqui, okay? I just want to also say this, my feelings about Chiriqui has nothing to do per se with the locals there, because honestly speaking, people from Chiriqui are very friendly. They're very loving people. They're very hospitable people. So my views have nothing to do with the locals there. It more so has to do with the expats and now the people that are residing there. And this is not every single person or every single expat, but I'm just generalizing in this particular situation, which may not be good, but whatever. Okay, so the first thing is the weather. Now, for those of you who don't know where Chiriqui is a part of Panama that is on the western coast of Panama. It's very like mountainy, and the weather there, for me per se, I don't like the weather. I don't like anything cold, which is why I left New York. And even though I grew up in New York, and you know, it's mostly more cold than it is warm in New York, I always hated the cold. So the weather alone in Chiriqui is not something that I personally can deal with. I'm already anemic as it is, so I'm always cold as it is. So just imagine 60 degrees for me is too much. So I wouldn't go to Chiriqui and I wouldn't live in Chiriqui because I can't take the weather. The weather for me is too chilly. I prefer warmer climates. I prefer heat. Yes, I am a summer baby. So I love the summer. And one thing about living here in the city is that I enjoy beautiful weather all year round, okay? So if you are not into cold weather, if you are not really, you know, into mountain life, I don't think Chiriqui is for you. But who am I? I'm just telling you my personal opinion and what I like. I am a Caribbean girl. I like being close to and central to everything. So for me personally, the weather for Chiriqui is a no for me. Another reason why I wouldn't move to Chiriqui is absolutely beautiful. It is beautiful. It's very green, especially Boquete. Boquete is beautiful. Boquete has a lot of green. They have beautiful flowers. It's beautiful. I'm not going to take that away. But me personally, I suffer from allergies. So being around so much green would not be good for me. I would be sneezing and my eyes would be watering and my nose would be running all the time. So that's another reason why I would not live in Boquete, is because it is too green for me. Another reason why I wouldn't live in Boquete is because it is too far from the airport, okay? I like being 15 minutes away from the airport. See, the thing is with Boquete is you would have to take a flight. Like, it's just the same as Bocas. You know, I love me some Bocas, but I wouldn't live in Bocas for the same reason. Like, you would have to fly into the main airport, and then from the main airport, then you have to take another flight or a bus to go to these locations. And for me personally, it's just too much, okay? I don't like that. I like being 15 minutes away from the airport. Where I personally live in the city is Central. I'm literally like 15 to 20 minutes away from the airport. I'm 20 minutes away from everything else. So if I want to go to the Costco, if I want to go to San Francisco, everything is right there. Everything is like there. So for me personally, that's another reason why it is just too far for me. And I don't like being too far away from the airport. Another reason why I would not live in Boquete is because it is very, like I said, it's far and it's so isolated. It's like, if you are the type of person that like isolation and you like to be tranquil and you like, you know, that kind of life, you know, you wake up in the morning, you're looking at nature, you're enjoying the breeze, you know, long conversations with your neighbors, your American neighbors, then yeah, go ahead. But that's not me. Like, I am a city girl, and although I live in the city, there are still suburban areas within the city where if you want that life, you can definitely, you know, live in an area where it's really, really quiet. But then if you really want to pop out real quick, you can definitely do that here in where I live, in the part of Panama that I'm from, the part of Panama that I live in. And that's just me. That's just my choice. This is not something that you guys should take offense to. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. And to be very honest with you, a lot of the expats that live in Boquete are retired folks. I am not retired. Okay, I am not 65 years old or 60. I don't even know what the retirement age is. I am not that. So for me personally, it wouldn't work for me. That is not the lifestyle that I want for myself. That is not the lifestyle that I'm into. Maybe when I am 65, maybe my mind will change and maybe I might want that tranquil life. But for the most part, for me personally, no, I don't want that. So I don't understand why so many people, or why these particular expats are upset, because I didn't say anything wrong. I'm just saying that I personally would not want to live in that environment. I don't like nature. Well, I shouldn't say I don't like nature, but I'm not into that whole nature-esque, I'm going to, you know, run around, you know, doing yoga in the middle of the forest, okay? No shade to those who, you know, do that or are interested in that. Yeah, I'm not into that. And I think that if you're into that, go ahead. You know, there are people that are into it. I just am not into it. So if you're like me, I'm definitely an extrovert. I definitely like to have a good time in my, like, I like going out. I like nightlife. I like, you know, glitz. I like glam. I like those things. And for me personally, I can't, Chiriqui is not it for me. And my last reason why I would not live in Boquete is, and this is going to strike a nerve, and I already know, you know, the Make America Great Again people gonna come for me, okay? If you are from the United States of America, and if you look like me, and you are trying to escape a certain type of person or people, and this doesn't go for every single one, okay? This doesn't go for everyone, but there is a certain demographic or a certain kind of, oh my God, how am I gonna say this without you guys being upset with me? There's a certain type of, there's a certain group of people that live in those areas. A lot of them come from places within the United States where, you know, they don't experience cultural diversity, to say the least. Throw a stone in a pack of wolves and the one who howls is the one that get hit, okay? And again, I'm gonna say that this is not for everyone, but just keep in mind when you Google Boquete, what comes up, right? So with that being said, if I left America to get away from a certain group of people or a certain type of people, and this has nothing to do with race, okay? This has to do with people's perception on life, the way they think, and the way they project themselves. Those of you who are already awoke, you already know what I'm getting at. The rest of you who don't get it are gonna be offended by it, and you're probably gonna unfollow me, or you're probably gonna leave like some sort of hate messages in my comment section. But why would I want to live around that group of people? Why? It's kind of like the same thing like when, I think I mentioned this in my videos prior to, when I lived in New York, and where I lived was predominantly an area filled with a certain demographic of people, and then once a different group started moving in, they started moving out. So with that being said, without me having to say too much, it's like, why would I want to leave, you know, and go live in an area around the same people that I am literally I don't want to be around, or I'm running away from, or I ran away from the, you know, in the States. Like I don't want that type of energy. I don't want that type of vibe. You know what I mean? I like living in a city because the city has so many different groups of people, and the locals. Like I like to be able to live and mix and mingle with the locals. And when I say mix and mingle with the locals, I mean mix and mingle with the locals, not create my own community where I am just only solely dealing with this group of people, which is like, you know, like other Americans that live in Panama, and I'm only dealing with only Americans in Panama. And I'm not that type of person. Like I mingle with everyone, and being in the city, you don't really have a choice. Like my son goes to a school and there's all different groups of people in that school, and I like that. There's Americans, there's people from Venezuela, people from Russia, people from all different types, all different parts of the world. And I'm able to mingle with those people as well. So instead of me moving into a place where it's only solely, you know, a community filled with just Americans, for me personally, I mean, I get it, it's something that you may feel comfortable with, but I also, and I get that you want to feel comfortable and you want to be amongst people like you as well. However, you don't even realize how much of a disadvantage you're doing for yourself by not mixing and mingling with the locals, and by not, you know, living amongst locals. That's just my personal opinion. And when I say living amongst local, I don't mean that, you know, you have a community within a community and that's the only people that you deal with. No, I deal with my neighbor. One of my neighbors is from Costa Rica. The one in front is from Miami. There's another one in front that's from Colombia. The one next to me is from here in Panama, and so on and so on. And there's people that live in my community that are expats from the United States of America, and that's just the way that I personally, that's how I like to live. Let me know what your thoughts are. Oh, and another thing is that I want to tell you guys is that if someone puts under my videos another company or a relocation tour, I just want to tell you that I am not affiliated with any relocation tours unless I say that I'm affiliated with a relocation tour. That is something that I'm working on to help you guys, because you guys have been asking me so many questions about relocating to Panama, and I think that a lot of times we are misinformed and we don't get the real deal of what's going on and, you know, how to go about certain things. So I'm definitely in the works of getting you this information, guys. Please work with me and just give me some time. I will have that information to you by my next couple of videos, I promise. But the only way that you will know for sure is by subscribing to the channel, putting on your post notifications so that you never miss an update. With that being said, guys, anyone who they're putting links to their business on my page, please just know I have nothing to do with it. I don't know who they are. I try to delete them, but honestly speaking, I have no idea. I can't give you advice, or I can't recommend a business that I have I know nothing about. So with that being said, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers. With that being said, guys, peace and love.